Talk Show. Hi, you guys. I'm Somalia.
And I'm Jasmine.
And we're the hosts of Fusion Teen Talk Show. We welcome you guys to our very first episode of Fusion, and we are thrilled to get this show on the road.
Growing up as a teenager can kind of stink sometimes, you know how it is.
Yes.
The struggle is real.
Yes.
But it's okay, because we're going to talk about different topics that we can all apply to our lives as we become adults.
So kick back, relax, and grab you some hot Cheetos.
And cornbread.
Because we are going to take you inside the day in the life of a teen.
Telling you all we know. Watch and see how you will grow. 'Cause teens and parents are bridging lines of communication on Fusion.
Fusion Teen Talk Show. As teenagers, we thrive on social activity, but with social media mixing in with our regular lives, drama is bound to come.
So we here at Fusion are privileged to have two special guests and experts. They're going to tell us how to avoid drama in our lives and prevent it from happening. Like, who doesn't want that? So we have Chris Butts, a paraprofessional at Centennial High School in Atlanta, represented. And we have Miss Daree Allen, a motivational speaker. So welcome to both of you. I'm going to start with you, Chris. Like, you work a lot with teenagers. How do you think, drama even begins? Is there even a cycle, the worst drama?
Well, I think that the kids orchestrate a lot of the drama. A lot has to do with now social media is through the roof. You can communicate through every freaking application there is in the world. So, he say, she say stuff, and it just, this one says something to that one, or says something about that one, and then it just snowballs into something that doesn't even matter at the end of the day.
And through that, I think your self-esteem is obviously affected and stuff like that. So, Ms. Daree, how do you think that the relationships that we choose and the friends that we choose affect our own self-esteem and our self-worth?
I think it's a cycle. I think that first people choose the friends that they're going to have based off of similarities and things that they admire about another person or people that they want to be like. And that's why a lot of times, especially with girls, a lot of girls will get to be friends with someone, they'll be best friends, and then the next thing you know, they're talking about them and stealing their boyfriends and different things like that. And I think it's just because of something that's going on inside of them, and or something that's going on inside of that other person, and they're on the receiving end of it. Self-esteem is influenced by other people and by friendships and family members, but it also has to do with what's going on inside of you and what's motivating you.
Right. So how do you both think that through that self-esteem you can channel to be, above the influence? Do you think that changing your environment is the first step or the only step?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both, and you have to think about the age group that we're dealing with. We're dealing with teenagers, so anywhere from 15 to 17-year-olds, and their peers have a big influence on their lives more so than their parents or whatnot. So they're going to follow the lead of the person that they're most affiliated with, which would be peers and school members. So it's kind of hard. It's easy to say as an adult or as somebody older. But it's kind of hard to do when you're in that situation, 16, 17 years old. You want to fit in. You don't want to, be on the out crowd or the outcast. So you basically go with the flow. I
think that teenagers may not be able to totally have a lot of control over their environment. They don't have any say as to, whose house they live in for the most part, or what their neighborhood is like or whatever. But just because your external environment is a certain way doesn't mean that you have to be like everyone that is there. So you can make the choice to say, what, after school, I don't really have anything to do but hang around certain people. Maybe I know these people are not best for me. So perhaps what I need to do is, take a class. Maybe I need to get into a club that does photography or dance or sports or something like that, and have a creative outlet to get you out of trouble.
What do you think that we as teens can do to look out for in our friends, and what do we need to watch out for and be mindful for as we pick our friends?
I think mentorship is a big thing too. Having that older brother or older cousin or something, or maybe even if you're a freshman and affiliating with a senior or a junior or something like that. Somebody that's just you know, more closely relatable to where you want to go or where you want to be in life. You know?
Right.
And I always try to, so I had older brothers, so I try to associate myself with some older people because, you know, experience is the best, you know, I guess mentorship.
Right.
So that's really it.
Thank you.
We're going to take a moment for a quick commercial break, but stay tuned because the conversation is just getting started. Stay connected with Fusion on Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back to Fusion Teen Talk Show. We just talked about how drama affects our lives emotionally. And I'm here with an audience member. Please tell me your name and your question.
My name is Taylor Mason, and my question is, how would you deal with insecurity?
Insecurity can come from comparing yourself to other people. A lot of times when people feel insecure, they're looking at what someone else has or what someone else looks like and wishing that they could measure up to that. For some strange reason, they might think that what they have, whether it's looks or money or something else, is not good enough, doesn't measure up. And so one of the things that I suggest people do if that's the source of their insecurity is that they look at themselves and try to look at themselves in a more objective light. A lot of times when you're comparing yourself to other people, you're only seeing one little slice of their life, and you may not really know what's going on behind closed doors at their house at night or the things that they struggle with. And so I would just challenge people that feel insecure to not take things so personally and be so down on themselves as to thinking that other people are much better than them. I think everybody has their own version of this kind of struggle.
I think that, you know, to self-confidence and self-image, self-esteem are very important and are one of the key things when you're dealing with your self-image and yourself. You need to embrace compliments, like she said, from other people, and don't take it, you know, there's a difference between being cocky and confident, you know, like, you know, accept the compliments and embrace them because yes, you do have, you know, good qualities. Everybody has good and bad qualities, but when people point out your good qualities, you know, embrace it, you know, process it and really like break down that, okay, this is some of my strong points. This is what I'm good at. And you know, feed off that because it builds you as an individual and it helps you, you know, progress through life and progress through the obstacles that you're going to, you know, overcome as a high school and, you know, as a teenager.
That's great. I hope that answered your question really well. Going back to avoiding drama, teenagers spend a lot of their time in school. Do you feel like it's safe to say that's where most of the drama occurs?
Definitely. Like, well, you know, like Daree said, some things may be going on at home too. But most of the time in school, that's where all the drama occurs because that's where, like we said, social media, networking and stuff. So that's where everybody comes together. So
Lots
you
of
know,
hours to
exactly. This one said something about this one, made a post about that one. So now when we all come together and, oh girl, you gonna say something to her because she done said this about you, made this post about you on Facebook, and then it's just, you know, it's telephone. So, you know, and that's where it all comes together. And school is just a big melting pot for it all. So.
Yes. And you, Miss Al?
Yeah, there is a lot of interaction, a lot of social interaction that goes on at school. Like he said, I won't repeat what he said because I totally agree with it. But there is a lot of strife at home for some teens. There's a lot of strife at home. And as I mentioned before, with not being able to necessarily control your environment, I think that people that are in those situations at home where there is a lot of strife, they need to have a positive outlet elsewhere. So, you know, if they're being abused, that's a very extreme form where they should try to get out of the situation. They need to talk to someone about it. But if it's not that extreme, then they need to find some positive outlets and other activities that they can take on so that they're not thinking about and as stressed as they would be if all they were doing was going to school with all that drama he just mentioned and then coming home into sibling rivalry or what have you.
So how do you feel like teens can build their self-confidence like in school and like with their other like extracurricular activities and everything?
I'll go back to saying what I said before. Mentorship is a big thing. You know, I had an older brother in my life, so you know that was reassuring for me when if I had a bad day at school or something like that. You know, I could come home, talk to my big brother.
Be silly yourself.
Exactly. You know, and really be reassure myself that it's not that bad. Blah blah blah. Just move on. You know, so it's definitely I think that's plays a huge part and a huge role in teenagers' lives as they go through the adolescent stage and everything like that. They don't have anybody to necessarily turn to, so it's like, who can I go to? And you don't want to go to your mom, your dad, even though they're going to tell you, pat you on the back, tell you it's okay, but you want to hear it from somebody else. So
I think that's why things like gangs are so popular, because people are looking for that camaraderie and that family. And so even though it's really negative, it's like, well, who in their right mind would join a gang and like do things that they do, but everybody needs that.
So in what ways do you feel like adults and teachers can help teens that are actually faced with drama without making the situation worse?
First off, just listen, just and let them know that you always have an open door, and that it doesn't have to always be that, teacher, I'm your teacher. And,
lecture.
Exactly, not a lecture. Just listen to them.
Yeah, I would say listen to the teens that are talking, pray for them, and also share with them what you went through.
Right.
Parents and adults and teachers need to be real with teenagers. There's too many teenagers that walk around not really respecting adults because some of these adults act like, oh, well, we're perfect all our lives. We never did anything wrong. Right. So talk to them and share with them about the mistakes you made, even if, it might make you look bad to another adult. Who cares? You're trying to reach out to another teen so they won't make the same mistakes that we did.
Right.
Yes. Well, we actually have another question from the audience. Somebody else has to ask you something. To Jazzy Jazz.
Hey, Smalia. Yeah, I'm here with Jaquil. So what's your question, Jaquil?
How do you deal with schoolwork and social life?
Yeah, like how to manage it. Oh, I know. It sucks.
That's a very good question. It's a very common question with, high schoolers. But there is going to come a time where you might not have a social life because, with managing your schoolwork and your personal life at home, you may just have to put that social life to the side. You may just have to tell your friends, hey, today's not the day, I can't hang out, we can't talk on the phone or, something like that, And it'll get better at times, There'll be time where your schedule may loosen up and you'll be able to talk and hang out a little bit more and whatnot. But you have to prioritize, so.
She's shaking her head like, no, I'm not saying, I'm not giving my phone time.
That's not what you guys want to hear, but in reality, that's really what it comes down to. You have to make some decisions. What's more important at the time? Do I go hang out or do I go and get ready for this paper or this midterm or something like that? And you guys want to hear it.
I think it comes in seasons. I don't think it has to be an all or nothing. But I do think that you can't say yes to everything.
Okay.
So if you want to be a part of the track team and do this club and do this thing in church and get good grades in this big thing you got coming up, like you can't do all 12 things and do them all well. Like nobody can. We only have 24 hours a day. We only have so many hours of sleep. You have to say no to some things. I don't know how drastic you need to be about it, but I think that you do need to prioritize which of those activities are the most important to you. The schoolwork part is really non-negotiable because unfortunately, whether you are on that track or not, you're going to have to be able to communicate well and learn the things that you're supposed to learn in school to get out of school.
Yep, it's all about time management, you guys. We're going to take a moment for a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to walk you through a little life prep.
Be a blessing. Sow a seed into Fusion Teen Talk Show.
Join the movement and donate to the All Things Fusion GoFundMe fundraiser. Welcome back to Fusion Teen Talk Show. So now that we've walked you through the day in the life of a teen, we want to give you some resources to help you prevent drama and to help you be successful in your educational career path.
So let's welcome both of our guests. Thank you so much for being with us today. I want to go down the line and I want both of you to give our teens advice about how they can avoid drama in their life and improve their school performance. So I'll start with you, Chris.
Well, basically, kids, just, listen to your surroundings and listen to yourself and go with your gut and believe in yourself. You know, and follow your dreams and just, you know, be the best you can be. It sounds kind of cliche and kind of corny, but really at the end of the day, that really, you are what matters. You and the people that surround you. So, you know, just believe in yourself and do the best you can do.
Mr.
Yeah, pay attention to your surroundings and the people that you are closest to. Make sure that the people that are giving you advice and people that claim to be your closest friends are actually for you. And regardless of what those people do, whether it's good or bad, keep focused on your goals and keep working towards them. Sometimes it's going to seem like it's taking forever. Why am I doing this? This is boring. I could be going and doing something else right now, but it'll all pay off. Hard work always pays off in the end.
Well, we'd like to thank our wonderful guests for coming on here today for our very first episode of Fusion, Mr. Butts and Miss Allen. Thank you.
And of course, we want to thank our audience.
Yes.
We hope that, you know, you all got some tips from this and this was enlightening for you, just like it was for all of us. So we love you all. Thank you so much for being with us today.
And be sure to join us next week on Fusion Teen Talk Show.
Telling you all we know. Watch and see how you will grow. 'Cause teens and parents are bridging lines of communication.